Hey y'all, I just beat Destiny Rising and here's what I think about it as a Destiny player of 10 years. In this video, I'll talk about the campaign design, chapter system, story, gameplay, and monetization. Quick note about spoilers, I won't be giving out any specific story spoilers, but I will mention a few moments here and there that some may consider minor spoilers. I'm confident you can watch this video before playing the game. I played the beta for this game earlier in 2025, and I remember having really mixed feelings about it. On one hand, this was a really accurate translation of Destiny onto mobile platforms, with overall game feel being almost exactly the same. On the other hand, this was a mobile gacha game with predatory monetization practices and a poorly written script read by AI. Playing the completed version 6 months later, I'm surprised to say that not only is it a great Destiny game, but also a pretty good game by its own right. Destiny Rising has the best main campaign of any Destiny game ever. Now, I don't think it's the best Destiny campaign ever, as I think Witch Queen and Final Shape beat it, but this campaign is definitely up there. What's so great about this campaign is that each mission tries to do something new. It's nothing too complex, but literally anything to break up the monotony of the running and gunning is good. It can be something as simple as a platforming section, or even as complex as a stealth section, or even an Uncharted 4 style set piece. This meant that each mission had something unique and I was never really bored. I think that this is one of the best parts of the game, as clearly the developers looked at every single Destiny campaign in the past and used that knowledge to make this one. This game knows to not just have boring standing on points or killing waves of enemies over and over, and only features objectives like this a few times. The best thing is that this game was clearly developed with this knowledge in mind, meaning that the engine was developed with the ability to have cool set-piece moments along with the typical Destiny mission design. That's why I think Destiny 3 is so important, because Destiny 2 is really limited by design choices made all the way back in 2017. On top of this, the pacing of the game is really fantastic. Because this is a mobile game, each main mission doesn't really take more time than like 10 minutes or so. I think that's one of the real benefits about this being a mobile game, is that nothing in this game takes very long whatsoever, so it's hard to feel like you're ever getting bored. Strikes and even raids take less than 10 minutes to complete, and if the game was easier to play on an actual phone, I could actually see myself jumping in for a quick activity here and there. Now, with the game's really quick pacing, you would think it would be hard to get invested in the story with the seemingly little time to develop the plot. Actually, however, this game is really long, taking me over 16 hours to roll credits. The game spans 7 chapters, with each chapter featuring about 3 sub-chapters. The best part about this chapter system, in my opinion, is that to move on to the next one, not only do you have to complete all the story sections for that chapter, but also extra objectives. The extra objectives are honestly one of the best parts of this game for me, because not only do they balance out the campaign's quick pacing, but they also serve as a way to get the player to engage with the game's world and systems. Many of the objectives are related to upgrading a certain amount of characters in a certain way, such as leveling up 3 characters' relic powers to a certain level. By doing this, it ensures that the player is caught up and constantly has multiple characters at power. Each objective you complete gives you the resources you would need to level up, meaning for most of the game, I never had to go out and grind for anything. Another great feature of the chapter system is that it forces the player to actually go out and play the many new game modes that this game adds. Some of them are kinda whatever, like a fishing minigame or a card game, but many of the modes that this game adds are fantastic and better than 90% of the activities in Destiny 2. The Legacy game mode is essentially Gambit, but much faster paced and being entirely PvE. By removing the boss fight at the end, it makes each match last only like 6 minutes and much less of a pain to grind. Another favorite activity of mine was the Singularity Order activity, which is a kind of Nether-esque activity where you complete objectives in a certain time, all while being given random perks. Both of these activities were really fun to play, took 10 minutes at most, and were extremely rewarding due to the Pinnacle power system. Despite being constantly interrupted by various side objectives, the story is actually told pretty well and is surprisingly engaging. The story is written in such a way where it has natural stopping points for each chapter and subchapter, meaning it makes sense as to why you would pause for a bit to do other stuff. The story actually has much better writing than I thought it would, due to it likely being written and translated from Mandarin. There are some weird lines here and there, but overall this game does a pretty good job at keeping the player engaged with the story the entire time. I do think the voice acting can be a bit all over the place though. Most of the voice acting is pretty good, but it can sound out of place from time to time. I don't think she does a bad job, but Wolf's voice actress kinda sounds heroic all the time, even when it doesn't fit the scene, like when Wolf is trying to make a joke or something. Really, most of the voice actors kind of sound a bit one note, but I do think it actually works most of the time as the writing really plays into that. The game does feature some AI voice acting, although it's much reduced from what it was in the beta. It does kind of take you out of the game when you hear it though, but thankfully it's rare enough that I don't think it's a huge issue. The overall plot is a bit mixed for me. I don't think it's bad or anything, but it does like to jump around a lot. The first 4 chapters of the game focus on the metro destination, and the last 3 focus on the Red Sea Rift. While both of these 2 arcs do have an overarching plot, each chapter has its own kind of subplot. For example, chapter 2 focuses entirely on getting an old fallen weapon to help take out a fallen base, and while this does technically relate to the overall plot of the first area, it really does feel like kind of its own thing. I was constantly waiting for the game to introduce some kind of overall plot thread, but it just never really came. I mean, the final boss of the game isn't really introduced until chapter 7. I just wish that this story had some kind of overall hook to it, rather than these 2 separate plot arcs. I mean, the 2 halves of the story don't really connect at all, other than Wolf is trying to help people. The story does have some overarching themes that do keep coming back, but I don't think they really connect as a central plot. Even the worst Destiny campaigns have a main villain and continuous plot. Now, despite not really having a central mystery or anything, I don't think this is a bad plot. Far from it, actually. When looking at this story through the eyes of someone new to the Destiny universe, I actually think it does a fantastic job. The first half of the game is focused on the Fallen and Hive, and the second half is focused on the Cabal and Vex. Because of this game's long runtime, it does a really great job at setting up and explaining all the different enemy races, much better than Destiny 1 ever did. Each chapter's subplot does a great job at giving the player bite-sized stories to be invested in, which is perfect for a mobile game, while also showing Wolf's overall rise to power. By forcing the player to play as Wolf, it helps the player connect to her, as well as give the player a stand-in for themselves in the Destiny universe. The best part about this plot is that it keeps players engaged with Wolf's rise to power, mirroring the player's own rise, while also doing a great job at explaining this slightly different version of the Destiny universe. That's how I would explain the gameplay of this game as well, slightly different. In essence, it's the exact same. This game feels almost exactly like Destiny 2, managing to be almost as fast-paced and fun. Each gun feels extremely fun to shoot, the movement abilities feel very similar, and the sound design and environments are almost, if not just as good as Destiny 2. The game does have a few things that feel a bit off about it, such as there being a delay to sliding after landing on the ground, but overall this is an extremely good representation of Destiny's core campaign, especially on PC. I did try to play on my phone a bit, but that was almost impossible with how small the screen was. Rising does feature one major change to Destiny's gameplay loop, however. This is more of a hero shooter rather than a loot-based game. The game does still feature loot with random rolls and all, but each character has a recommended loadout, so I'm not exactly sure how important that is. Instead, the game has a gacha hero system where the main grind is about getting a character's level up as much as you can and trying to dupe pulls of them so you can upgrade their talent tree. With such a drastic change to the overall formula, you'd think that I'd hate this, but surprisingly, I actually really like this hero system. Now, I don't think this should be implemented into D2 or anything, but what I like so much about this hero system is that it encourages players to play around with different builds rather than just finding one good one on your main character. Not only is each character a different class, but also subclass and even weapon type. Wolf, for example, is a solar hunter who wields a Dawnblade-esque super and can only use assault rifles and grenade launchers. Because of this, Wolf is simply just not a good choice for certain situations, meaning I was able to branch out to other characters and try out different gameplay scenarios the entire game. I was never bored and never found the game to be repetitive because of this. Now, of course, this is to supplement the game's gacha system. A lot of people were skeptical about this being a gacha game, myself included, yet I never actually really found it to be that bad, at least for the campaign. As I said before, each campaign objective actually gives you a lot of the resources you'll need to level up, including many pulls for the banners. Over the course of the campaign, I got maybe like 100 pulls for the permanent banner and even like 50 pulls for the limited banner, all for free. Now, the game does force you to go into the shop to collect these free resources, obviously trying to make you buy, and unfortunately, it did work on me. In my time with the campaign, I spent $26. $5 on the battle pass, $1 on like a free multi-day sign-in thing, and $20 on a founder's pass. All of these were of my own accord because I liked the game. All except one. See, my biggest problem with this game is that it features pinnacle energy. This game features a ton of mobile game systems, but I don't think many of them actively get in the game's way like this does. See, each day you get 120 pinnacle energy, which is only about 6 activity runs, and you use that energy to get bonus rewards at the end of an activity. The problem is that if you don't have any pinnacle energy, you literally get no rewards at the end. Like, for example, towards the end of the campaign, when I ran out of my reserve energy, I literally could not progress the game because I couldn't complete the optional objectives. There is apparently no way to get player XP besides with this energy in daily 4 bounties, so I had to choose to either spend $20 to get 240 more energy or just wait till the next day to continue the campaign. Unfortunately, I'm a real sucker for stuff like that, and I bought the energy. Thing is, I'm glad I did because at the end of the campaign, I only had 40 energy left out of the 240 that I bought, meaning I would have had to wait 2 entire more days to beat this campaign. Now, I don't think it's bad that the game gives you the option to buy the energy because, frankly, I like that I have that choice. I think it's bad because this system directly gets in the way of story progression and ruins the end of the game. Of course, by then I was running low on resources too, so I had to go out and grind activities, meaning I had to waste even more pinnacle energy. This one system is the thing that I think will drive so many players away, as the developers clearly seem more focused on player retention and getting them to spend money on pulls rather than making a fun game. Besides that, however, Destiny Rising is a really good game. It's not perfect by any means, but it gives us a window at what a future Destiny 3 could look like. The campaign is overall pretty good with diverse mission design, great pacing, and a pretty engaging plot. The writing and voice acting can be bad at times, but this really seems like a great door into the franchise for some. The gameplay here is definitely different from Destiny 2, but fun in its own way and works for this game. Because I played on a PC, honestly, a lot of the time I felt like I was just playing Destiny 2 straight up rather than some mobile port spin-off of it, and that alone is a huge accomplishment. So because of that, fan or not of the franchise, I definitely think this campaign is worth a play. I recommend Destiny Rising. 8 out of 10. Well, y'all, that's my review of Destiny Rising. I'd really appreciate it if you could like, comment, or even subscribe. That's all I got for my review of this game, but I do want to take the last few moments to talk a little bit about me and my channel. Okay, so I want to start off by saying that my last Destiny video, so my part 2 of my Renegades review, also did really well, just like my J. Cole video. So my last 2 videos are my most popular videos, and I'm hoping that I can carry that into this video with the recent Destiny 2 announcement of the delay of the update. But yeah, I just want to say things have been going pretty well on YouTube recently, and that makes me really happy. Not much to say there. I do also want to say these outro portions are getting pretty long. The last one for the J. Cole video, I'm sorry, for the Renegades video was 7 minutes. Definitely doesn't need to be that long. I do want to shorten them, but it's also I don't want to get rid of them. I don't care that nobody watches it. In my opinion, and look, I don't know much about the YouTube algorithm, but these are at the end of the video. So it's fine if people don't watch the last 5 minutes because they still watch the first 15-20 minutes, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I want to say about that. Another thing is I think I'm getting a little bit better at reading my script. So I did make a few errors today, just where I kind of messed up a word and kept going. And then there was one script error that I didn't catch, but I was too lazy to re-record. Whatever, but besides that, I'm getting better at reading my script. I probably should just redo it all, but it's literally I am so hot in here. It's so sweaty. I don't want to keep doing this over and over, but yeah, for now, I think that's a good thing. Let's see. So the Baby Keem album comes out tonight at the time of recording this. So I might make a video on that, might not, don't know. This is a pre-made script that I made maybe a month ago. So, you know, I'm just kind of working through all these saved up scripts I have. My Resident Evil 9 review will definitely come out early March. Over spring break, the Fatal Frame remake will come out, and literally 2 days after that comes out, I'll be on a cruise boat. So I can't make that video for a long time, but whatever. Yeah, I don't have anything to really say today though, just a few quick updates. Yeah, I was saying though, I think this is a good script. I think this is a good review. And yeah, I don't know, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I appreciate it if you watch this far, and yeah, that's all I have. So thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.